Well, I think something has to be said about this 5G business. I mean, I've been watching a couple of videos of Ben Emlyn-Jones, and Ben is convinced that 5G is an electromagnetic weapon. And that's because Ben Emlyn-Jones has absolutely no understanding of the technology, has absolutely no understanding of microwave electromagnetic energy. Nor do these other people that claim to be experts in the subject. But because, you know, Ben and a lot of the conspiracy theorists, they know nothing whatsoever about it. Because they're conspiracy theorists, they want to see a conspiracy in it. So they will choose to believe, you know, people like Ike, Trower and Steele, people that know absolutely nothing whatsoever about it, because they prefer there to be some sort of conspiracy to it. Apparently it's got bad enough that people are destroying or attempting to destroy the 5G infrastructure in the UK. It's just ridiculous nonsense. And once 5G comes online, you know, people doing this sort of thing are going to be putting people's lives at risk, because people aren't going to be able to call ambulances or the fire brigade or anything like that, because some idiot up the road has destroyed the local 5G cell. 5G is not an electromagnetic weapon. There's nowhere near enough power in it for a start, and the sort of frequencies they're using are actually less dangerous than 4G and 3G. The higher you go in frequency, the shorter the wavelength. The shorter the wavelength, the less penetrating power that signal has. So the signals from 5G will penetrate the human body to a far lesser extent than any signals you're going to get from 4G, 3G or CDMA. It's just nonsense. So I thought, well, I wasn't going to say anything about it, but I think something needs to be said. And Ben was saying this morning about he was upset that Ike had been deplatformed, or they'd removed Ike's videos, and so they should. I mean, he's a dangerous idiot, David Icke. People that follow Ike are people that have very little critical thinking ability. You know, they will actually believe what he says, and it's nonsense. All of it is absolute rubbish. You know, the planet Saturn isn't a 40-watt light bulb. Wake up, people. You know, whatever Ike says about 5G is going to be absolute bloody rubbish. So, for goodness sake, don't go around destroying 5G infrastructure. And I think, to be honest, although I know Ben is a great advocate for free speech, and I think, well, you know, free speech, okay, you can't really argue with that. But by the same token, when it comes to affecting people in a serious way, it's okay if a few nutters want to believe Ike and these other guys, but you know, it as their personal opinion. But when they form this opinion and they start taking actions that are going to affect others in a negative way, and interfering with the 5G infrastructure is going to do that, then it's time to do something about it. They should be removed. I mean, if there are people out there that really can't tell fact from fiction, that have such infinitesimal critical thinking ability that they believe what these people are saying, then what these people are saying should not be in the public domain. It's as simple as that. It really should not be in the public domain. Here, I think. So I've got a clip I recorded off I might have been off of Sky TV the other day. I was watching Sky TV on the internet. There's a couple of guys on there, and someone was saying, you know, people are out there destroying the 5G infrastructure. Don't do it. It's just lunacy, absolute craziness, and all this conspiracy stuff is absolute nonsense. Now, I know the guy works for the British government, and the conspiracy theorists are going to say, oh yeah, right, yeah, of course he's going to say that, isn't he? But it's true. You know, what do you think people like Ike, Trower and Steele are going to be saying in a few years' time, when none of their ridiculous predictions materialise? You know, when no one's been killed, you know, that no one's being controlled by the 5G network. They're going to say, oh, did we say 5G? Oh, we meant 6G. And then a few years later, when nothing happens, you know, the only thing that happens is people experience better Wi-Fi speeds and better data rates for their mobile phones. That's all that's going to happen. They'll say, oh, did we say 6G? We meant 7G. And they'll milk it for as long as they can. And there's some people out there that are actually selling you 5G protection devices. They're telling you there's a problem so they can so they can sell you a solution, a USB stick solution. And it's nonsense. Absolute bloody rubbish. You know, if you don't want to get involved with 5G, don't get 5G. You know, if you don't want a mobile phone, don't have a mobile phone. But don't interfere with the infrastructure that's going to prevent others from having it. Because that's all it is. It's just a communication system. It is not a weapon. The microwave weapon that the Americans developed, the active denial system, uses 90 gigs, 90 gigahertz. It's a microwave frequency. It's much higher than anything used by 5G. The power levels, 5G might be 20 or 40 watt base stations. The active denial system is 100 kilowatts, 100,000 watts, and even then it will only give you a burning sensation at a range of about 100 yards. And the reason they use 90 gigs is because it doesn't penetrate the human body. It will make all the nerve endings in the skin feel like they're on fire, so it's going to discourage you from advancing forward. It's going to encourage you to retreat, but it won't penetrate the body and damage any organs. That's what it's all about. So please, you know, don't listen to these morons. Don't attack the 5G infrastructure. And you know, get yourself, if 5G is rolled out in your area, it is in mine. I don't have a 5G phone yet, but I'm going to get one. Then just embrace it. You know, get yourself a new phone and enjoy it. Enjoy the faster data speeds. Don't, you know, cower away from it, and every time you see a 5G mast, you know, think, oh no, it's going to come and get me. It's going to come and fry me, because that is just absolute bloody rubbish. All right, well, I think that's probably enough of a rant from me. Something else that's just occurred to me, and that was that I fell about laughing. Ben said, well, you know, how is it going to affect these people that are part of the government, you know, because they're going to be in this microwave radiation field as well. Maybe they've got something to protect them. Maybe they're just going to take one for the team, you know, they're going to sacrifice themselves. It's ludicrous nonsense. The reason that they're not bothered about it, they're going to be in the same 5G field as everybody else, and they're going to have 5G phones, is because it's not going to do any of the things that these crazy conspiracy theory people tell you it's going to do. I just remembered that, so I thought I'd better record that while I still remembered it, and I just fell about laughing. So just ask yourself that question, you know, why would all these people have these 5G devices if it was a weapon, you know? It really isn't. It's just an improvement in technology. And there'll be a 6G, there'll be a 7G, 8G, and so it will go on. I suppose it will keep the conspiracy theorists in selling t-shirts and bullshit and, you know, 6G and 7G and 8G protection USB sticks, if USB sticks are still around when 6 and 7G get here. That's about all it will do. Sell a few t-shirts. You know, some of these hippies, you know, that are spruiking all this bloody rubbish, they're completely clueless about the technology, and they might see an opportunity to make a few bob. So they'll get some, you know, anti-5G t-shirts printed, and get some USB sticks, and tell you that they're going to protect you from the deadly hazards of 5G radiation. And it's all nonsense. Just save your money and don't worry about it. Remember, you know, the ADS, the active denial system that the Americans developed, the microwave weapon, is a non-lethal weapon. The whole idea of it is that it's non-lethal. It discourages people from advancing towards it, and it makes people disperse and move away from it without having to shoot them. It's a non-lethal device, specifically designed to be non-lethal. So just bear that in mind and do a little bit of research before you jump on the crazy conspiracy bandwagon. And if anyone shows you a petition saying should these bloody lunatics be deplatformed, sign it. I'd sign it in a heartbeat. I'd sign a petition saying lock them up. You know, give them all 3 years in jail. That's plenty enough time to get it all rolled out, get everyone used to using it. Everyone will then know nothing's going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is that I've improved data rates, so that when they're let out and they start spruiking all this nonsense again, people will just laugh at them. Like the people that know anything about this stuff are laughing at them now. Oh yeah, I explained, didn't I, that you know, this is, everyone's supposed to be staying at home and all this sort of stuff. I'm not just out joyriding in the country. I'm working. I'm one of the people that has to work at the moment. So I think I mentioned that in the previous clip, but just in case I didn't, I'm not just out joyriding in the countryside. I am providing what the government considers an essential service, apparently. That's what I'm doing out here. It's all legal and above board, and I'm keeping away from as many people as I possibly can. So no, it's roadworks. So I was going to say, I've been through a few of the police roadblocks, and they're all good-natured about it and good-humoured about it. I've been through a few of them now, and just going to slow down for the roadworks in case there's some guys in the road. Go down to 40 here. Yeah, okay. So they're providing an essential service as well. You know, there's a lot of us out here that have to keep working. So where was I going with that before I saw? Oh yeah, I've been through some of the police roadblocks, and they're pretty good-natured about it. I mean, there's they check you've got one of these exemption letters, check your driving license, so the name on the license matches the name on the exemption letter, take the registration of the vehicle, and that's it. On your way. And there's plenty of warning as well, so you might find that there's one of those illuminated signs on the side of the road that says you know, roadblock ahead, exempt vehicles only, or exempt people only, whatever it says, so that if you do not have an exemption at that point, you can just turn around and go back. It's just not an issue. You drive on for another couple of kilometres, and then there'll be the actual roadblock. I should have put the camera on yesterday when I went through a couple of them, to be honest, to give you an idea of what it's like, but it's not an issue. For those of you that don't know, the state of Western Australia, where I live, is a huge state. It's many times larger than Texas, and it's been divided up into 9 separate regions, and you can't travel within the from one region to another without a very good reason to do so, you know, unless you have one of these exemptions. So that's what all the roadblocks are about. Typically they're about 50 kilometres outside the city. Alright, well I think I'll end this clip here. Not sure if this will make it into the video at all, or where in the video it will be if it does. Police penalties, travel bans, police penalties apply, and they're quite significant actually. There was a teenage girl being given a driving lesson by her mum, and they pulled her over and they fined her $1,600 because he said it wasn't essential. And I thought, well, that's a little bit harsh, you know, because I mean they're both in the car for a start. I suppose okay, they could get out and go in a cafe somewhere. But apparently for education purposes you can travel, and I would have thought anything ending in lesson, like driving lesson, you know, is going to be educational, isn't it? And there's a bit of hoo-ha on the TV about it, and they managed to get on one of the big networks, and it did make the police look rather stupid, so they've withdrawn that now. the teenager. The poor teenage girl's not going to have to stump up the $1,600 fine. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's just applying common sense, and it's a shame they didn't do that in the first place. All right, okay, I'll end that. Now I will end this clip and see where the next clip takes us.
Rubbish. It's nonsense. It's the worst kind of fake news. The reality is that the mobile phone networks are absolutely critical to all of us, particularly in a time when we are asking people to stay at home and to not see relatives and friends. But in particular, those are also the phone networks that are used by our emergency services and our health workers. And I'm absolutely outraged, absolutely disgusted that people would be taking action against the very infrastructure that we need to respond to this health emergency. It is absolute and utter rubbish, and I can't condemn it in stronger terms than that. On the testing, the good news is we said that we would run.
So there we have it from the man in Downing Street. That was from Sky TV. I think it was live from Downing Street a couple of days ago. The 5G conspiracy nonsense is exactly that. It is utter rubbish. Utter rubbish. And people really should not be interfering with the communications infrastructure. Leave the 5G towers alone. I'd be surprised if anyone could tell the difference between a 5G tower and a 4G tower. So they'll probably be interfering with stuff that is up and running if the 5G stuff isn't up and running just yet. What they should really do is very, very quickly come up with some laws relating to this, so they can really stomp on these people and hit them with significant fines. Maybe what they should do is send a bill to have all this equipment replaced and reinstalled, which would be bloody expensive, to the people that incite this utter bloody nonsense. Get them to pay for it, and if they can't pay for it, throw them in jail. And maybe do us all a favour and forget where you put the key. So there we go. There's just a bit of a rant on the 5G morons. As always, if you've made it this far, many thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you again.